TBD, Justin Hunte, it's all happening. Sometimes you don't know who you are until you overcome the seemingly insurmountable. Meek Mill's been reveling in realizations all week. This one's about wins and losses. This is TBD.
Static Selector.
Meek Mill's in the midst of his best professional 7 days he's had in years. His third studio album, Wins and Losses, debuted to super strong reviews. Pitchfork gave the project a 7.4. Sheldon Pierce described it as a comeback by any measure, honest and gripping. Over at Broja for Heads, we praise Meek for adding a dimension of conscious rap that is authentic and powerful. AFH Home Team.
Me with a heavy heart. The streets left me with a heavy heart. Niggas say they with you when they really not. Niggas plot on everything you got.
Maybe that's awful for Cavs fans, but it's awesome for Meek. All week he seemed to be at peace, and there's a real chance he debuts at #1 with album #3. Right now he's essentially tied with Lana Del Rey and Tyler, the Creator, who both dropped new music this week, and now Fader's reporting that Meek may take the lead due to Tidal allowing fans to stream Wins and Losses for free. Bars! For too long, Meek seemed like Captain Can't Get Right, as if an inevitable air of "this ain't gonna end well" seemed to follow him everywhere he went. He gets into an insta beef with Game in 2016 that somehow turns into an actual beef with fellow Philly legend Beanie Siegel. That was crazy. He gets salty at Drake for not posting about his album, then blasts him on social media, accusing him of using ghostwriters, then shows up to the rap battle with his Twitter fingers instead of his bars, essentially jeopardizing his whole career. Here's Meek Mill rapping Fake Love. Had to bring that one back. But Meek's addressed all of this all week. He's talking about how his battle with Drake was actually a W because he was getting soft at the time. He was living in Beverly Hills. He was laid up with Nicki Minaj's all handcrafted everything, and weathering a Canadian storm has now turned him into a monster. The ghostwriter stigma is absolutely plastered all over the OVO head honcho. Meek deserves credit for that one. Plus there's this. In its Wins and Losses review, Vulture added, Meek seems destined to be, to some significant degree, misunderstood. The extra dust from the Drake spat hardly cleared things up. Contrary to initial reports, Meek didn't lose. The beef drove Drake to rebuild his Views album from scratch, delaying its release by a full year, and Views was so inferior no sentient person could overrate it. There was this too. In a conversation with Philly's Cosmic Kev on Power 99, Meek said his relationship with Nicki was a W because he bagged the girl he'd always had his eye on. He said the breakup was an L because it always sucks getting your heart broke. Real rap. And perhaps his biggest W, detailing how kicking pills, handling his addiction, has brought clarity to everything.
Like, what's the point? I'm getting high, I'm doing pills, you know, like, there's like a Percocet town too, and since we on the mic right now, we might as well address it. Like, all the young boys running around taking pills all day and getting high, and it's basically a form of dope. Like, when you stop taking the pills, they like break your body down, so they gotta keep on taking the pills. And I'm not knocking you if you do it, because I did it at one time, and I know how hard it is to get off of it, but that's for suckers. We came up straight hustlers, like, we make money, we trying to win, we ain't trying to escape reality. It's already real out in these streets, people dying, going to jail. What you sitting around for high pills? You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking to myself too. When I used to be high, I used to have my own little, like, in the mirror, look myself in the face. Nigga, you get high every day, you a clown. You get high for every day. You signed, you blessed up, you running from reality. For what? You dreamed about being on this level. What you running from reality for? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know there's somebody listening to it that's caught up in the middle trying to get off perks, but it's like killing their body. And they may be on probation, they freedom on the line, or it may be straying them away from their family, or just slowing them down in life, man. Turn it up. We trying to get this money.
Of the tracks I love off Wins and Losses, Fall Through, Glow Up, Never Lose, that actually might be the realest thing I heard from Meek this week. I mean, he's essentially been an L Factory for the past 2 years. At least that's how his brand has looked. But over the past 7 days, the Philly MC has been looking and moving triumphant. Really think about this. Meek's battled poor decisions, personal humiliation, the loss of his little homie Snoop, the loss of his freedom at one point, addiction, and he's bounced back with a brand new step in his best project in years. He's seemingly been under attack from every angle and is still standing. Like Obamacare. If it seemed like this is one of those weeks where everyone was screaming fire in the stadium, I'd agree with you and I'd understand. Trump tweeted that after speaking with his generals, transgendered Americans are no longer allowed to serve in the military because of increased medical expenses. A number of Republican senators, along with Defense Secretary James Mattis, they all hated the idea. So did Caitlyn Jenner. Then there was this. Trump's new White House Communications Director, Anthony Scaramucci, went full Martin Shkreli in an interview with The New Yorker. He accused Steve Bannon of sucking his own cock. That's a quote. Attempting to build his brand off the presidency. He called former Chief of Staff Reince Priebus, back when he was still Chief of Staff, a fucking paranoid schizophrenic, a paranoiac. Brand new word. He threatened to kill all the leakers. It was crazy. He isn't fired. Apparently Trump loved it. Jesus. There was so much nonsensicalness going on that it was easy to miss the Senate deciding to bring the Obamacare skinny repeal back to the floor. The Congressional Budget Office announced that that piece of legislation would increase premiums by 20% and swell the ranks of the uninsured by 15 million by the end of next year. Listen to South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham's explanation on the measure.
The skinny bill as policy is a disaster. The skinny bill as a replacement for Obamacare is a fraud. The skinny bill is a vehicle to get in conference to find a replacement. It is not a replacement in of itself. The policy is terrible because you eliminate the individual employer mandate, which we all want eliminated, but we actually have an overall solution to the problem of Obamacare. So you're going to have increased premiums, and most of Obamacare stays in place if the skinny bill becomes law. Not only do we not replace Obamacare, we politically own the collapse of health care. I'd rather get out of the way and let it collapse than have a half-ass approach where it is now our problem. So we're not going to do that with our vote.
But he actually did vote that way. So did the guy to his right, Ron Johnson. Now there's 100 people in the Senate. All 48 Democrats voted against it. The Republicans had 2 hard no's. You need 51 to pass in any direction. And when it came time to vote, again, Lindsey Graham and Johnson both voted yes for the repeal, despite how principled Graham sounded. John McCain, Mr. Maverick, Mr. I gave y'all Sarah Palin and y'all can't give her back, shocked Congress this week when he did this. There are multiple reasons why this bill failed, one of which, Trump's been tossing insults at McCain for over a year now, discrediting his military service, talking about how he's not a real hero because he got captured. If I was McCain, I'd vote against the president too. Also, at its core, the Republicans' plan wasn't really structured as a health care bill. It was structured as a tax break for corporations and wealthy citizens, which didn't excite most Americans, even Republican governors and core voters. Republicans have screamed repeal and replace for 7 years. Repeal and replace, repeal and replace. They campaigned on it for 4 election cycles. Repeal and replace. In 2016, they captured the House, the Senate, the White House, and in 2017, they have the judiciary as well. And they have complete control of government. Complete control of government. And even with complete control of government, they couldn't kill the ACA, the Affordable Care Act. Like Meek Mill, Obamacare is looking stronger than it's looked in years. 2 things we're waiting on though. 1, at the moment it seems as though Congress will now have to work to improve the current ACA. We'll have to see what happens when Congress gets back from recess. And 2, in that same Cosmic Kev interview this week, Meek Mill disses corny bloggers and calls out academics for not sharing his album on social, which is essentially the core of his beef with Drake in the first place, plus Trick Daddy. So we'll have to wait and see how all that plays out as well. But does wins and losses signify a true return to form for Meek Mill? Does that vicious Philly lyricist who seemed poised to own the industry a few years ago, is he back for real for real? For real for real? Or for real for real, did he ever fall off in the first place? I don't have to answer these questions. Another Saturday, another TBD. Thank you guys for rocking with us each and every week. Let me know what you guys think about this Meek Mill project. I like it. I think there's some really strong cuts. Big shout out to the Honorable C Note. He produced Glow Up. That's one of my favorite beats on that album. Illmind, he produced Never Lose. I think that one came out really tough. I like to see him address all these things, Meek Mill that is, that he's received criticism for over the past few years, but let me know what you think. Are we just excited that it's selling again, or does this feel like an artistic leap for Meek? I'm not sure, but let us know in the comment section. Also, big shout out to Duke Sucks. I hate saying your name every time I read it in the comment section, Duke Sucks, but you're one of my favorite people to talk to. As you guys know, my favorite basketball team is Duke basketball, so I'm kind of punching myself in the face just by giving you a shout out, but you earned it, and thank you for rocking with us each and every week as well. Big shout out to Laurel DeWitt, our art director. She does all the thumbnails and does all the artwork that you see within the piece, the set, the wall behind us. She's a genius. Make sure you follow her on all platforms. Like, subscribe to the channel, follow at The Company Man on everything. This is just a glimpse into the paradigm shift. TBD.
See, what's happening right now, which I love, is that the elites and the media establishment that want to hit the president on Russia every day, they're recognizing that there's nothing to the Russian story. So here's what's going to happen.
Donald Trump is not elite.
We're going to move on.
The business side or the politics side or the inheritance side, what part of Donald Trump? Many people in the UK don't understand that.
There's so many things about the
president.
He's
a celebrity.
How about
He's
the
a billionaire.
cheeseburgers? How about the pizza that we're eating?
Everyone eats cheeseburgers and pizzas. What are you talking about?
See,